Hello. So this is so as soon as I go live, then the dog decides to start barking. Hold on 1 second. Sasha, stop. Stop. Maybe I have to stop being live. I'll wait 1 second to see if she'll stop. Shh. Shh. Be quiet. Thank you. Okay. So hopefully she'll be quiet now. The neighbor decided to start mowing their lawn. And then she's all, I want to go out there, or something. Anyhow, so I am tired. I've had a long day at work. I'm not sure who's on. It's got the one person's watching. It doesn't say who. I don't know why it doesn't. But, so before we begin, I just got a different phone. So let me know how the quality, is and that, I started listening to a podcast, by Stephen Hicks, the, health rebel dude guy. I'm sure he'll correct me there. I don't know what his official title is, but, anyway, I started listening to his podcast, and, he said, he had mentioned, I think his name was Rob Dial, the mindset motivator, or mindset something or another, but anyway, he had mentioned that in his podcast, and so, of course, I went and I looked it up, because I am interested in this kind of stuff, mindset and whatever. And so what I found was, I'll drop the link to both podcasts down below. Don't you worry about that. But anyway, it was about, mindset, and one of the, episodes that he had on there was, about, getting, so the intro video was talking about how your mind, and I don't want to butcher it, and that, but anyway, and it doesn't apply as much anymore, but, is, the analog TV where you actually had to go up and turn the knob and that, and you could change different frequencies and that, and so, you're watching news and that, and you want to watch sports and that, well, just because you want to watch sports and that, if you don't go and change the channel, and you just be like, I want to watch sports, but you don't change it, it's not going to happen, and, so, like, the signal is there in the air, but, you just have to tune to it, and so, there was, that, and so, I've been, trying to, look at things differently, basically, I'll put the link in there, but, short summary is that, that you kind of create your own reality, and that, because, you got like a million things, coming at you every second, with stimuli, and that, and you can only filter down to, so much, and so, that one, and then the other thing that they talked about was about getting up early, and, using, getting up early as not just to get more shit done, like, for like work, and, do this for, your own or your own, what they call me time, but I call recharge time, because sometimes and you've heard it before, I don't feel myself important sometimes, or I forget that, and so I don't like to use the word me time, stay away, I like to use the phrase recharge time. And that's in another post or another video. I know I've talked about it. And hi, person returning. I still don't know who you are. Put something down in the chat, and I guess it'll pop up. But anyway, so before I get derailed or the dog starts barking, let's get on to the message of what I wanted to share. So I got up this morning, and way earlier than I had to, but I'm trying to make it a habit, and not instead of just jumping out of bed and then gotta look at your phone. Got a quick rush to work. I gotta do this, gotta do that. Where you can kind of breathe for a second and kind of, think about stuff. Oh, hey, Tom. Didn't think you'd catch me live, but you did. And thanks, Tom. I don't know if I said thanks, Tom, or just hi, Tom, but both apply. So I have my little notes here. So anyway, I woke up early. I got some things done that were things that needed to be done, but I procrastinate. It'd be like, oh well, I gotta go to work, or I gotta go do this, or I gotta do that, so I push it off. Like one of the things was buying hiking boots. So if you didn't see my post in that, I took up hiking more recently, and since I'm going hiking on my own, and my shoes are just not good, and that I needed some hiking shoes or hiking boots. I don't know what the correct term is, but that took me some time to look into, because I don't decide easily. And so remember, where I said, tune to that channel, you know, and where you're getting all the stimuli. So I actually had asked, I guess I should have tagged Mark in here, but anyway, Mark, I don't even know his last name, Blaubach. I've not actually ever heard it said. I've only seen it printed, but so if I butcher your name, let me know. Or if I don't butcher your name. And so, yeah, Sasha's trying to play while I'm here. And so it was, he's like, yes. He recommended Columbia, and he also recommended Fleet Farm. And he said, well, maybe Rogan's or whatever. Well, so just to make my life easier, and to cut all that decision making down, because I knew I'd, go and look at stuff and think about it, and maybe 5 years down the road, I'll think about getting it. And so I wanted to make a faster decision, so I tuned in, and I just said, okay, ignore everything else, just look for the Columbia whatever boots part, and that, and I went on their website and I made sure that they were waterproof and stuff. So I went and I did that, and it's like, oh, they don't open till 7 o'clock. Well, I was up at, well, I technically woke up around 5. I don't know how long I can keep that up. We'll see. I don't necessarily need to be up that early, but anyhow, and then was going through setting up some things on my new phone, uh, and also, getting some of my posting done, things like that, a little more relaxed, not like, oh shit, I gotta go do this thing and that because I shouldn't be doing this, I should be working or this or that. Um, but anyway, so enough on that. um, so waking up early did, um, not just energize me physically, but also mentally. Like, well, even though I'm tired and that, and it seems like this activity here energizes me because I'm seeming to wake up now as I'm talking. I don't know. Anyhow, but anyway, what my note says, is talk about being more energized in the morning, and which I was, both mentally and physically, and it's lasted through the day, and I was actually excited to buy hiking shoes. That you're getting up on age, and that was a joke, kind of, or at least an adult, when you're excited to pay 80 some dollars, whatever, for hiking shoes. But anyway, yeah, because I wouldn't ever been excited about that in the past, and that, but it's like, yay, I get to go hiking and I don't fall on my butt. And so, uh, because last Sunday when I went walking it, oh, I just lost all my viewers. Um, and I don't know how delayed it is, but anyway, so before I had been going hiking in groups, and so, well, if I fell and that, I'd have somebody. Well, the last couple of times I went and I hiked alone, and it could have been bad. And so the last one, there was a lot of mud and it was slippery, and so I had Sasha, my dog, and she was pulling, and I think this is as close as I've come yet to water skiing. Maybe I'll water ski sometime. But anyway, sliding through, and I almost fell on my butt and that. And so I had to make sure, I got ones that had a grip on them, a nice tread traction. That's the word I was looking for. And were waterproof. Because the other ones that I've had were very, very, I wouldn't say old, but they were used. But the reason why I did buy used is because my feet, I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but I don't know exactly why. It's that my feet are freaking, or at least my left foot, is wide, and is also very, has a high arch, and so it's very hard to find shoes to fit me, and that, and in that configuration, I have to do like a 13 or 14, at least a 13 wide, and that, or and stuff, and they got funky names for them. Well, anyway, so that little ridge, and that, like if this is the shoe, and that, like where my pinky is, and that, say that was the end of the shoe, and that it curved, and that, and well, my foot would just push right up against that, and then all of a sudden it would, break out, and there'd be a hole there. And I just did that over and over again with all the shoes. Didn't matter if they were brand new or used, and so I always bought used. And so hopefully these, will stand the test of time a little bit. But because I am a little thrifty. But I thought, well, $80 for shoes, or like, how much is it to go to the emergency room, or um, things like that, or and then plus I'd be out of commission for a while walking and stuff. Um, so things like that. So let's see, other thing. Oh, So one thing was funny. This was not planned. Well, I mean, I kind of thought about it, but not all the way through, I guess. So I've had it where I bought shoes and I'm like, oh, they feel real good. And then, I get home and it's like, why the hell did I buy these shoes? These are not comfortable. So, after I had found some, that fit, um, and it's just like, okay, well, are they gonna be, hurt after a while? I actually walked around the store a little bit with them, and I actually put my new shoes, or not my new shoes, my old shoes in the box, and I was walking around, I was looking at other things, dog toys, whatever, and then I went up to pay, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna wear these out anyway. Uh, um, so I didn't change them, and so then the lady went and opened up the box, and I kind of figured she might do that, and I'm like, yep, I'm wearing them, and that, just scan it, and we'll be done. And she's, oh, hold on, you have to take your shoes off and that, because they have to come up on the counter. We're gonna make sure that you got the right ones and everything, and so, this was just my realization after is, well, I guess technically somebody could stick random shoes in there and, really high price shoes and that in a cheap box and, get a real good price on it. Um, uh, but I'm not that way. Oh, hi, Rita. I was just talking about the hiking boots I just got. I don't know how responsive this is, so I don't know if you already went away. But so, okay, now it says Rita is watching in a different notification. Um, so, I got those, and I guess there's another way is, well, if somebody had switched the boxes and that, and you might be paying, higher price for the same pair of shoes, um, and that, so it's always good to check, as well. So that's something I learned there. Um, so let's see, I talked about being energized. Let's see, I talked about podcasts, waking up early. And also for both podcasts. I'm not sure what the heck I meant by that. Um, oh, yeah, so the other podcast, that that I had mentioned in that is by Rob Dial, I guess, um, and so I actually had, listened to that, and, it's just interesting, and I'm glad, I started, listening to that kind of stuff, and let's talk about this new phone. You still haven't said how the quality was. Of course, I don't go live that often, um, and I do change devices on occasion. But anyway, so there, I'm not gonna say the brand name. If you read my post, I'm sure it's in there, or at least where I was asking the question. Maybe I'll make an update to that and say what I took, but I just don't want to, slander or, people's business and that. But let's just say it this way. I live in Wausau, Wisconsin, and there was a cable internet company that had a monopoly for many years and was very didn't seem to care so much, because they didn't have any competition, and so they said that they cared, but you didn't really see it. And so this newer company that has fiber now, fiber internet, finally hooked me up last week. I think it was last week. And I just got around to now disconnecting that, the cable internet. I went down to them, and I thought they would send, be like, oh, why are you canceling? No, they're after there was a lot of people in there, and I don't know, it was like at least an hour wait or something like that, and returned my equipment and stuff. And then I said, well, hey, you also have this mobile component, you know the cell phone part. And they're like, oh, well, we don't do that, and that is through, you have to call this 1-800 number, or go on the website. And I thought, oh gee, so I waited an hour, plus, just to hand you the box and say I cancel. But I digress, because I was gonna go there because I would have had to pay off my phone and stuff. And so what was funny is they were advertising the phones, and had accessories for the phones too. And so it's like, so you can't cancel or anything like that, but you have the stuff there. So it's like, kind of reminds me of, I've never been into one, but heard of places that try to, if they don't have a liquor license, or they try to skirt the law, and so they're a bar, but they're not a bar. I don't know what they're called, but I think it would be kind of cool to go to one, where you actually bring in your own alcohol and that, but then they charge you for ice and glasses and stuff. And I think maybe some of them in that you can actually, pay, and they'll like store your alcohol for you. And so, see, they're not technically serving alcohol, and that they're just providing ice and water and a place to sit. So, kind of the same thing where it's like, whoa, we're just selling cell phones, we're not selling the service. But anyhow, so, for the cell phone part, I did go with a subsidiary of AT&T. I'll let you guess which one that is, or you could probably find out on my post if I update it. But anyway, I'm a lot happier. A lot of people were discouraged with this company. And so I did call the 1-800 number, and that night eventually got through, and something new is, I got my phone, or I requested for my phone to get unlocked, which I've not ever done before. So, type up in the comments if you know anything about that. But I made sure that they put that in the request. So apparently it's going to take 48 hours, and then they're going to send me some sort of unlocking code or instructions or something to unlock it, and such. And then I guess I could go and take my phone to whatever carrier I want. It's not locked to the one that I bought it from. Because I've had them for over a year, so it's, it wasn't like I just got it and then said, okay, I try to rip them off or something. So let's see, waking up early. So yes, stress management and caffeine being awake. So, I don't know if this is, just something with me and that, but I've noticed maybe other people can chime in as well. And I'm just wondering how long I've been going. Oh, only 25 minutes. But anyway, so, when I am stressed, super stressed, and, I go and I get caffeine, first one might wake me up or something, but if I'm really stressed, that's not going to do anything. And then if I just keep, you know, I don't know if there's a term for, keeping on caffeine, but I know for like, if you try to avoid a hangover, even though I don't really drink that often, but they say hair of the dog, so you don't get a hangover, you drink some more, so kind of the thing where it's just, hair of the dog, but, for caffeine, well, but, I don't ever really feel better, and it's just this cyclical thing of, well, now I'm even more tired than that, but then when I try to relax, then boom, it kicks in, and I'm worried, and my heart's a pumping like that, and it's like, holy shit, and I can't sleep, and that, but yet I'm so tired, and I can't focus, so, listen to your body. So that's one thing that I learned from, going to these health coaches stuff. Listen to motivational speakers. There's kind of a little bit of a cross section, or where between physical health, mental health, things like that. And well, if you want to know more about that, there's more on my page, and if you have a certain question, you can email me or send me a message, put a post or put a comment down below, something like that, and I'll help you out, or I'll point you in the right direction. I know Steve's pretty good at answering questions as well. Stephen Hicks. Let's see. So yeah, I think that is everything actually. I don't know, I feel like I'm leaving something out. Yeah, stress management. So listen to your body. Not everybody is exactly the same. So you gotta kind of experiment sometimes. But, don't overdo it, and don't be like, oh, I gotta be awake, so I gotta chug all this caffeine or whatever. That kind of thing, because eventually, there's no amount of caffeine that can keep you up all the time, and then, yeah, your mind's gonna go to crap. So, let's see. I think I have talked about everything on my list. That said specifically. Other things that I did is like I came home and I actually cleaned out some of my car. So that's good for cleaning out mentally as well. Just because every time I got in my car, and I'd look over at the passenger seat or whatever, there'd be all this junk in there that I had, from, I don't know what it was, 2 weeks ago or something, when I had my last vacation day and I just hadn't cleaned out my car, so everything just got piled on there, and then, things just fell to the floor and all that stuff. And, there was all this anxiety, like, oh my God, I got so much to do, and I can't, ever get through it. And now it's like, when I started taking care of stuff, like, boom, 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 like, holy crap, like my mind's just going a million miles an hour. And it's like, pop, 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 pop. Yeah, somebody make a meme out of that. Bup, 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 bup. I don't know. The bup, bup, bup guy. Anyhow, but, that kind of thing. But, it only took me less than a half an hour I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better. And that because I had to get ready for work, but it's at least better that when I go and just sit in the car, it's like, oh, not like, oh my god, and that oh, woe is me, I don't have time for anything. I just have time to get up, go to work, maybe do a little exercise, and then fall asleep in front of the TV. Because that's what I used to do. And now I just added more stuff in there. It's like, oh, now I gotta do exercise. I gotta go hiking with these people. I gotta go socialize. Go to these parties and that, and people asking for me. And it's like, oh my, well, I should be lucky. I should change my attitude and be like, I get to do these things. It's not like I have to. I get to do these things. Nobody's exactly telling me, you must go hike, you must do this. No, it was my own ambition in that when, the pandemic hit I was just like, no, you need something. Take your mind off it. And at first it was dog and therapy, counseling and that, and then delicious shake, which turned into a weight loss challenge in Herbalife, and all that stuff, and then becoming a personal health coach, and starting my own business, and starting this, and so I got plenty of things to do. And it's just you got to take priority. I got to like stealing somebody's words, Rob Dials or whatever. Like turn the dial, or turn the channel. To get your priorities straight. So one thing I'm gonna ask, and I don't know, we're like probably 30 minutes in. Come on, and you're gonna tell me? Oh, 32 minutes in. But if you made it this far, congrats. You get one Brett dollar. I don't know what that gives you. But anyway, so I am constantly thinking, about things, and sometimes my mind gets too busy doing something, and that, but that I can't write it down, and so I'd like. So I have my Lady A device by me in the house, and so if I say Lady A, set a reminder. I'm not saying her names because I don't need anybody that's watching to trigger their devices. But that only works in the house, and then now that I have my cell phone, that has good reception. I can say hey G-Man. You know, and I can say set a reminder, and it'll set a reminder, and then speech recognition isn't all that great. But anyway, oh, hi, I have no idea who just joined. Maybe it's Rita that came back. But anyway, so question to you, it's more of a tech question, but maybe a non-tech person knows. I'm looking for a solution that where I could take notes, where it'd be like a I don't know what the word would be. Technically, it would be some sort of web service or whatever. Yes, I'm talking geek, but that you could access it on your phone, and you could also access it like on a smart device. Or I could probably make my own or something, and that. But anyway, that would just have some sort of keyword, like hey Lady A, hey Google. Oops, I set that off. Hold on. Okay. But something like that. But have it something specific so not everything's going off, and that so like these couple notes and that, about the, shoes and talking about stress management and stuff. I actually thought about that while I was going to walk in to get shoes boots in Fleet Farm, and I was glad that I had internet connection and that, so I could just speak and say, hey, set a reminder, but I'd like to find something that is both on a cell phone or like a tablet, maybe, but then also, when I'm around the house, I don't want to have to carry a device, so a smart, assistant would help. That would all get together and would put it in a nice list, like in a to-do list or something, or if I could say a keyword or, something like that. So, because I had to manually combine the notes from, Lady A and Mr. G, I guess, whatever. And it's all right for the short term, but if I had something really that I needed to record, it's like, oh, hey, remind me that I have an appointment tomorrow at, such and such a time. Oh, that's one thing I didn't mention. So apparently my last, eye appointment was in 2019. It's now 2021. I didn't realize it was that far away, or it was, that long, and I, called for an appointment. And so, that was something that I had time to do, and that because I got up early, and I didn't have, I had not half my day's work done, but, I had a lot more done, before a lot of people would get up, or, when I would have usually got up or started thinking of getting up. So, yeah, do you guys have any, like, note-taking apps, for that? Something like that where I could just speak into it and, it records it. And maybe if I, has an option where I could, write it down or that, and, that it would keep it in a nice list, you could, because I've even, done it where I've, like, made emails to myself or whatever, and it either doesn't save, or it gets lost, or whatever have you. What have you, there we go. Yes, I am a little tired. But anyway, to be concise and everything. And then also, and that little bit of a plug to my side business, my main, my own business, and that, but it's, I'm still working at my corporate job. But I tried something new today. I went and I took my high protein coffee, and I went and I added some, and I know Steve will maybe get on me a little bit about, sugar-free replacements, and I don't know if it has aspartame or what exactly it is in there. But anyway, I went and I had got some, I think it was like white chocolate pumpkin or something like that. But anyway, I added that to my coffee, and oh my god, that was so good. And I mean, the coffee is good on its own, but it was just nice to have a different taste, and I don't know. So yeah, anyhow, I think I'm done. Oh, well, and that coffee that actually counted as a meal. And and then I went to Peak Nutrition, and that because I had time in the morning, and I had it for lunch, but I had to, because they had a special apple crisp smoothie shake thing, and I had to taste it, and it's just like, and I almost didn't make it home. It's like I already ate, but it's like, this is okay. Bad visual there, because that you could think it's something else, but no, this is a cup and that was a straw. But anyhow, you could misconstrue that. Anyhow, but I took a couple sips and then I had, while I cleaned out the car, before work, I had to put it in the fridge. So if you're in Wausau, Wisconsin, definitely go down to Peak Nutrition on not Bridge Street, Mountain Drive. I mean, Google it. It'll tell you. Well, yeah, because I said the G word. My other phone woke up. But anyway, I don't know. Tomorrow, I know sometime this week I'll have to go to Bridge Nutrition. That's not that far. It's like 3 miles away or something. And try their pumpkin cheesecake or something, some kind of cheesecake shake. And I do try to make mine at home, but I like going out and trying different recipes because they are so, what's the word, modular. It's like, oh, you put the same base stuff in, but then you put a little bit of different flavoring, or you add a little bit of a piece of cookie or whatever, and all of a sudden it tastes different because you blend it in, and it's, I don't know, it's just good. And it's good for, it's good for you. It's got vitamins and minerals. And okay, enough with that. But if you want to know more, just let me know. I can definitely, talk one-on-one on you, one-on-one with you. Okay, I definitely need to take a little relaxation time soon. But anyway, this has been fun, and I could have waited, but I probably would have lost my thought process maybe, and the since it was fresh in my mind, I'm trying to think of the other thing. Oh, my confidence, be like, oh well, do I really want to do that, or who's going to really watch? Well, Tom was watching, and so was Rita. So, at least 2 people got informed. So, yep. And so, yeah, this is Coach Coop Dog. This for your neighborhood leader coach. Have a nice day. I'm trying to think through the outro. I haven't come on that. I could pause. I don't know if I can pause live, but so stay positive. Be a friend to somebody else. Be nice. Spread positivity, not negativity. And I'll see you in the neighborhood. And I did pause on purpose. That wasn't me trying to think of it. It was just me building suspense. So, yeah. See you around the neighborhood, and peace. Bye. Huh. So, apparently I exited out and I came back and it paused it for me. And so I'm back. So I'm interested in how that'll look. But anyway, let's try that again. Spread positivity, not negativity. Hug your mother. Make the world a better place. And, this is Coach Coop Dog. See you around the neighborhood. And peace. Goodbye. Let's try if I can actually finish it now.